Hi, welcome everyone to this video. So last video we actually showed you how to export this mesh1 UNV file. And of course, yeah, we've gotten to this point, and the next step is, if you want to make life even easier for yourself, you might want to auto-generate some input files, because you already have the mesh names here. For example, the bottom inlet, top outlet, wall, everything. And let's say if you start doing OpenFOAM, you're gonna have to start writing those input files manually and keying in all those faces manually. Now, if it's only 3 faces, that is still fine. If it's many faces, then you're gonna have a bit of a headache there. So you might want to script this into your Python file. So you make Python generate your OpenFOAM input files. Now, I know there's such a thing as PyFOAM, which you can use Python to run OpenFOAM, but I'm not going to use PyFOAM. I myself have not learned it yet, but if you're you can go learn that on your own. Okay, yeah. Long story short, I haven't learned PyFOAM, so I'm not going to do PyFOAM now, and I don't really have time to learn PyFOAM. But what I do know is working with Python and using it to generate input files. So what are some versions or some examples of input files? Well, I have OpenFOAM installed on my Manjaro. It's a 2006 version. Of course, I can install it in my Docker, because now if I run icofoam in my Docker in Ubuntu, I am not able to do anything because it's not installed. So you sort of have to install it from scratch. So yeah, you can do this, install OpenFOAM ESI. I'm not going to do it from source. I just do the pre-compiled binary versions. Let's do Linux. Yeah, we'll just do the Ubuntu system. You just follow instructions and you'll be very quick. So I'll just do this. Okay, so there's no sudo. So I need to apt install. I'm not going to use sudo, but I need to apt install curl. And yes, please. And I'm going to do this. And then it's going to do the apt-get update and everything. Then I'm going to install OpenFOAM 21064. This will be the latest. So this is very easy way of installing and sourcing OpenFOAM. Now, whether this is running, yeah, this one will get apt-get update for a while, so just leave it. Yeah, I'm going to fast forward this, so we'll get it done in a bit. So yeah, once this apt-get update is done, you should see this thing called repository is set up. You can now install packages. So all you need to do is apt-get install OpenFOAM 21006 default. So paste this here. I don't want apt-get. I prefer to just use apt, but you can use apt-get if you want. It will pretty much do the same thing, and 700, it'll be almost 1 gig of data. So it'll be using quite a fair bit of disk space. So again, you just wait for a while. It should be able to download every single thing. Okay. Oh wow, it installs very quickly apparently. So yeah, we'll just wait for it to install for a while. It says waiting for headers, so just let it do its thing. Once it's done, it will show you the directory to the foam folder and how to source the bash RC file properly. Of course, yeah. The reason why I'm doing this is not really that I'm going to run OpenFOAM here. Maybe I will, yeah, maybe I will. But it's because I will have like the latest version of tutorials. For example, I want to go to incompressible, and then I want to look for pimple foam. So I will go for Reynolds average, Navier-Stokes. We can do something like rotating fan in room or T-junction. Then we go look at the 0, and we take a look at the U, and you see all this syntax is very nicely put for us here. So we might want to actually take some of this syntax, take some of these introductions. We want to make Python, so-called do all of these things, yeah, for us automatically. So yeah. Anyway, yeah, this is done now, and the only thing we need to source from the bash.rc file is to see this thing. We need to source this user library OpenFOAM 2106 etc. bash.rc. So let's vim the bash.rc, and I'm going to make a function called source OpenFOAM 2106. I'm going to do it in function form, so this is how I like to do it. Source this, and then source OpenFOAM 2106. So I'm going to exit, save and quit, source bash.rc, and icofoam will run, and at least you'll see this error message come out. But it has all the nice things, and if I go look for foam, it will bring us to the tutorials, and then we can find all the OpenFOAM things we need here. So let's go to let's see, incompressible. We go to pimple foam, and we go to Reynolds RAS. We can go to T-junction again, and we go to 0, and we vim, let's say U, and we'll see that this is how we want to look. Okay, so how do we generate input files? We basically want to copy and paste some of this text and then ask Python to write it to some file. Now, of course, all of this can be written as well. Okay, so there'll be a few things. One will be this part. This is like the OpenFOAM version, whatever it is. Of course, you can write whatever you want here. I'm not going to include the version. I might say, this file is written by some Python file. Then you have this foam file part here, which is the C++ code, which tells OpenFOAM that this is the velocity file. You can see this is the object U, and then all the dimensions are here, so on and so forth. Now let's go and take a look. How do we use Python to write this? Okay, to write in Python, it's basically like playing with objects. So you can see that Python actually has this function, or maybe it's a class. I like to think of it as a class, but it's like a function or method. It's called open. Okay, and then two things you're supposed to specify here. One is the name of your file in a text document or something like that, and the other input you need to give is the mode. So the mode is actually well, there are few modes here. Basically, one is to append, and the other is to write. Write will overwrite any existing content. Append will append it to the end of the file. Okay, so and yeah, the normal way that append works. Okay, I'll demonstrate for you in a bit. Okay, so we have our goal in mind, which is to at least write the velocity file, and at the very minimum, we should write the pressure file as well. And this is kinematic pressure. You can see the dimensions are a bit different from dynamic pressure. So let's just try that. I'm going to go to okay, I'm going to go to the root directory. I'm going to go to home, go to Salom, and what I want I have input files in the thin pipe flow snappy hex mesh. No, I should have done that. Okay, so that was a bit of a roundabout way of doing it, but at least I'm going to be able to use OpenFOAM here. But anyway, so what are we doing here? Let's go look at some examples I've done up before. Worked examples, input-output writer. So this is the worked example, the input-output writer. You can go and check it out yourself if you don't want to watch this. If you don't want to watch this video. But there are a few things here. Okay, the way I play with this open is basically like it's basically like a class in a way. So I declare an this is a bit like declaring an object. So f is this object, and then open is a class here. That's how I like to think of it. And in this object there are methods like write, and then the methods like close. Okay, so that's what we can do. So every time you write, I mean, for good practice, just close the file. All right. So that's one way of doing it. Okay. So yeah, how do I write it? Okay, I'm going to sort of make a new file. I'm going to go to video scripts. I'm going to make a new input output file dot or input output dot py. Okay, and I'm going to make a class here called foam writer. Okay, and I'm going to define the constructor, and I just do a pass here for the time being. Okay, more importantly, I want to actually go to the workspace, and of course the live demo cylinder class. So I go to the next file. Yeah, workspace must be able to import this what do you call that, input output py. So I'm going to write this thing here, import. So here's import reload, then you have import live demo cylinder class, and then let me add one more line which actually imports the foam writer. Import the foam writer class. Okay, or foam writer, I think the word is called module. It's a lot better. So I'm going to import foam input output. So this is the input output.py, and if I want to reload, I will need to do this. Okay, I'll just follow the syntax here. Yeah, from input output import foam writer, and self.foam writer equals to foam writer. And this is my workspace, which I can reload it. Okay, and over here I will just do the reload the foam writer module. Okay, so so I will need to reload the live, not just the live demo cylinder class. I will need to import, okay, input output, and from reload input output, and then from input output import foam writer, and self.foam writer equals to foam writer. And then I will have another function to get the foam writer object. Def get foam writer object. So it will just use the same syntax, self.reload modules. Okay, I will just follow the syntax. Foam writer object equals to self dot foam writer, and then I'll do this open and close brackets, return foam writer object. So I'm going to test this out by printing this, print foam writer object initiated. So this is the constructor. It doesn't do anything except print. So let's do another test. Okay, I'll do another test, and I'll just write def foam writer test. Okay, so self. Okay, and the only thing I'm going to do is just to get the foam writer object, which is here. Okay, so I'm going to Where is this? This is the test object. Oh, right. I don't just need to do it in my test. Don't just need to do it inside my foam, what do you call that? Workspace object. I need to put it in my test object as well. So let's import the foam writer class module. And I'm going to write the same thing again. So this time I'm just going to be a bit, lazy, or maybe the better word is called efficient. So I'm going to put this here, paste. Okay, and so I have a get cylinder object. I don't just want a get cylinder object. Yeah, and this time I don't need the reload, because every time I reload this test object, everything was reloaded by default. So def get foam writer object self. Okay, foam writer object equals to self dot foam writer and return foam writer object, and that's all. Okay, so this should be able to do it. Okay, foam writer object equals self dot get foam writer object. Okay, then we're going to quickly we're going to design our classes a little bit later, but let's see whether this works first. So let's put this in the description, foam writer test. So foam writer test. And this is getting a little bit long, so I might want to split this up, okay, into several subclasses, but I think that's a bit overkill as well. So let's just do foam writer test. Foam writer test. Test building of OpenFoam input files. Okay, so that's what we do. And well, GLHF as they like to say. So get test object, and let's see whether this foam writer test works. And as you can see, the constructor is done. So once the constructor is done, we will just start doing other things. So first thing first, let's try printing this this thingy over here, right? You want this very nice C++ looking thing. So what I'm gonna do, copy and paste, and that's oopsie, undo. Let's copy and paste it here, and this is the kind of text we want to print out, right? Maybe we'll just do we'll change this to foam writer. Okay, input file made by foam writer object Python. And I'm going to take this out, and yeah, this will be C++ code. So whatever. Okay, so I want to give this header. So I'm going to going to have this def write header, and I'm not going to put anything in first because there are a few prerequisites we need. First is to actually get our foam writer object. So I'm going to make get and set functions for this open file. So let's do get object, or def build writer object. So we have a self there, and then we'll have two things, right? One, we have a file name, and we have the mode. Okay, so this will be a wrapper. Okay, writer, I'll just call it writer object, which is the F thing, or maybe I'll just do F. F equals to open file name and mode. Okay, and return F. Okay, so Okay, maybe I'll just call this the open object, because this is literally talking about an open. I'm not setting it to override mode. So let's do this. Self.f. Okay, so I want to put it into the function there. Okay, or rather no, I don't want to do the self.f yet. This one I'll do it later. Get writer object. Get open object. Def, the second one is to get writer object, and self and a file name. Okay, so I'm going to get the f equals to self.get open object, and I'm going to have the file name equals to file name, and mode equals to, this one will be strictly write. So okay, return f, and then this one will be get append object, self file name, and I'm going to copy and paste this whole thing here, because this will be done in append mode. Oopsie, I pasted the wrong one. Let me try again. Yank and paste. Okay, so instead of W, I'll change that append object to A. Alright, I'll change the append object to A. Alright, so these are the two objects we can play with. One is the append object, one is the write object. Okay, so let's see. How are we supposed to get this done? Okay, so I guess the first file I will want to, the first part I will want to write is, well, let's have a function. Yeah, we'll just have the function to write header. Okay, so what do I need first? I need to get my writer object. Okay, and then let's see, file name. Okay, you'll need to have a file name here, because this header can be, you know, sort of done for any file. Okay, so let's see. Let's get our writer object first. F equals to get writer. F write equals self.get writer object, and then I'll have the file name equals to file name, and then we can decide the file name later. Okay, so because this we can write U and write P. We can use it to write we can use it to write U, and we can use it to write P. Alright, meaning to say, yeah, we can use it to write the velocity file or the pressure file. So we'll start with that, but we'll take it nice and slow. Alright, we'll take it nice and slow. So all I want to do is just to write this header, and we'll just do that. Yeah. Okay, so we'll get the file name to be equals to file name. And how do we start writing? Okay, we use the write function. So let's use the write function. Okay. Okay. Anyway, yeah, if I use the write function here, then yeah, it does seem very confusing, because it looks like f write, then you kind of dot write it. So I think I will just name this overwrite. So because this thing is really there to overwrite. So this is a more descriptive, less confusing name, I hope. Overwrite object. So it's an overwrite object, and this will be in overwrite mode. So we'll have we'll just leave it as f. Okay, maybe just to keep the syntax consistent. So we want to write f.write. Okay, then we'll need to place in the text, and the first line of text will be this line of code, and this kind of thing. And then Let's see, did I miss something out? Maybe I'll do this. Because I can't really see. Well, must be those asterisks and special characters that are giving it a little bit of headache. Okay. Okay, let me think about this. Oh, I found the problem. It's because I think when you use backslash, it can mean something. You can see that this backslash is actually in red, which means it's supposed to mean something else. So when you put a backslash with this close parentheses or something, it kind of like messes up with Python. So we have to give it an extra space in order to do something. Okay, so this is the first line. And then what I want to do is to do a f.close, because the next thing we're going to do is to start appending things. f.close, and I'll do again f equals self.get append object, and then I'm going to append everything else. Alright, so yeah, that's append. Okay, and we do file name equals to file name, of course, and f dot, so what's the thing? Okay, we also use the write thing. We'll just use write because now it's in append mode. I don't want to overwrite my old file, so I'm going to do something like this, r, and I'm going to delete all, and then yeah, I'm going to put this part as a string, and then you're going to realize that something is going to go a little bit wrong. I'm going to repeat this step several times until we get everything done. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to fast forward this bit so you don't have to watch the boring parts, but the essential thing is to get everything aligned properly. So let's do that. Okay, so now we have everything sort of put in. Hopefully after this it means that our OpenFOAM file will look very nice. Okay, so let's start writing a file. Okay, we will start by, I guess, writing the velocity file. So I guess we can just put a def write velocity file, and this thing is self. Okay, so first thing first is self.write header, file name equals to u. It's just the velocity u. Okay, so let's try write velocity file and let's see what happens. Okay, so foam write object, write velocity file. Okay, foam write writer object, write velocity file, and let's see what happens. It may or may not work, but let's check things out. Okay, then we're going to do the foam writer test. Okay, we don't have an attribute called write velocity file. Okay, fine. Oh, we need to reload the test object. Okay. Write velocity file. Did I write velocity file? Okay. WRITE velocity file. Okay, let me reload everything. Okay, I'll close the loom and reload everything. Sometimes when I mess around with the workspace object, it can mess around with such things. So I'm going to go 4 levels up, and I'm going to do Salom, and again. Okay, I'm going to import a link git work directory, and then I'm going to get the workspace object here, workspace object here. I'm going to get the test object here. I'm going to get the foam writer test here. Okay. So foam writer object has been initiated, and let's say u is over here. So that's great. But you take a look. This is a very ugly looking file. It doesn't do what we want. Okay. So what's actually missing here? So it appears that the file is writing one line after the other. So we'll need to do a slight amendment. Okay. So we go to Intermediate plus Salom. Go to Video Scripts, and we'll do the input output.py. Okay. What's actually missing? Okay, the thing is that you need to sort of press enter. Okay, press enter. The way to do it is to use this \n. Remember just now the backslash was very important, so we actually need to do \n every time we start. Okay, or every time we finish rather. f.write \n. Okay, so now this is something we need to do, and the other way to do it, of course, is to do the \n at the end of every write file. So you see \n. Okay, or maybe I'll do it here, f.write \n. So we'll need to just do this again and again. I'm going to yank and paste many times, and let's see whether this thing actually does its job. So let's do this again. Self get test object, and I'm going to do the writer test, and then I'm going to go up 4 times, and take a look. Our U is actually pretty good. Here we have a slight, Salom's complaining about, or at least the C++ part is complaining about this this part here. Okay, so there's that extra space down there which we may or may not want. But other than that, everything else looks okay. Okay, so yeah, let's see whether we can get rid of that, and then we'll just call it a day. Video scripts, and let's go to input output.py, and yeah, guess this backslash is a bit of a problem. So let's do 2 forward slashes, because yeah, this one actually denotes a C++ comment, so doesn't really matter. Okay, so anyway, let's see whether this time it works, and then you'll not have that error. This is like just an aesthetic kind of a thing. So okay, never mind. I'm going to cat 4 levels up, and then U. Okay, so you can see this, and we can also vim 4 levels up, and then we have U. And yeah, this is perfect C++ syntax. Other than these 2 forward slashes, it's enough. I don't really want to deal with this. Okay, so it's just aesthetic problem. We don't really need to worry about it too much. Okay, so this is the velocity file. Of course, we can do something for the what do you call it, pressure file as well, and we can yank and paste here as well. Then instead of U, we can just put P. Right? Then we'll be writing 2 files here. So write pressure file. We'll just write kinematic pressure file, because they're dynamic pressure as well. I want to differentiate them. Okay, and then let's do this. Okay, and maybe we'll just give us some input, right? I'll just print at the end, print velocity file written, and then we'll have print pressure file written. Okay, now we got it. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so we have 2 files written now, and we know that it's written because it says so. So Okay, so now we don't just have velocity, we should have pressure somewhere. Okay, except that the pressure is not there because I think I messed up something. We'll need to change one more thing. I forgot to let's see, intermediate plus Salome video scripts, and okay, right header file name is P. Okay, I guess I'll have to figure this out later. But yeah, at least you can see there's a velocity file there. And oh right, I forgot to execute this right pressure file inside the the test. All right, so that's why. Okay, must be a bit late. My mind's a bit sloppy now. Maybe I should rest soon, but live demo cylinder class please, and then we'll do a right pressure file here. Foam right object right kinematic pressure file. Alright, foam writer object dot write kinematic pressure file. Okay, no, not too bad. So these are the basic functions we have. So we'll write this again. So we have two files written now. And look, our U here, our P is here, and our mesh is here. So I guess you can just copy and paste it. Of course, there's a better way of organizing this, but I'm just showing you basics now. So I guess thanks for watching. I'll see you guys again. Bye bye.